So, what is a purpose? A purpose is the reason because your goal is what it is. So, what that's supposed to mean is whatever ultimate goal you have, your purpose is the reason that goal is in its position. In its position of what you feel fulfilled in spending your lifetime doing. A purpose should be something you strive every single day for, what you feel happy and fulfilling in doing. Now, a purpose could be either to help somebody, to help many people, to help yourself, whatever it may be. A purpose is whatever you enjoy and feel fulfilled in accomplishing throughout a lifetime of work. Now, today, get yourself a pen, get yourself a notebook, or anything like that. And I'm going to put you through the steps, beginner steps, on how to figure out a purpose. Then from that, you can do whatever you want to refine it. The reason a purpose is so important because that creates long-term motivation. It's what gives you the mindset, the power, the ability to just wake up in the morning and be like, okay, what are the steps I can do to strive me closer to that end goal? Instead of waking up in the morning being like, oh, I'm so tired, then you start scrolling on your phone for an unknown amount of time because, well, you have no reason to get up. So then you waste an entire day almost. So the reason a purpose is so important is to create that motivation, to create every single day as productive as possible. Because by creating a productive day, that's how the sense of accomplishment, the sense of fulfillment, whatever, fills you. That's the main problem with most people these days, is that they don't feel the need to do anything like that. Honestly, that's a fair understanding since you have every accommodation to your need. What's the reason in getting up? You're not working for anything. But then by doing that, having that mindset, you don't. That's how you feel depressed. That's how you end up feeling full of anxiety. That's how you feel lazy. And then whatever task you are given, you'll be like, oh, I'm tired, I'll just do it tomorrow. Which is when tomorrow comes around, you say the same thing. That's procrastination. Which then, many days, many weeks, months, even years could pass without you even noticing. There goes an entire lifetime gone. As Leonardo da Vinci once said, a day well spent brings a happy sleep, while a life well lived brings a happy death. So you must be making every single day count, because a human lifetime is not that long. Maybe on paper it may seem long, maybe in thought it may seem long, 80, maybe even 90 years. But when you actually start moving, it's not that long. Or even when you're just sitting there, scrolling on your phone, sleeping, watching TV, whatever, hours pass and it feels like it hasn't. While if you are productive, yes, in the beginning, each day may feel like it lasts an eternity, or each task may last an eternity. That's how you can be grateful that the day lasts that long. Because when the end comes by, then you can reflect back on your life and be like, well, every day was great. Yes, it lasted long. Yes, it felt like it was long. But I got stuff done. I got as much as I can done. As Socrates said, it's a shame for a man to live without seeing the beauty and potential of his body. So every day you should strive to the impossible. For a task being impossible, that doesn't mean stray away from it. That means it should be achieved. Because who knows? It might not be impossible. Look at the moon landing, for an example. Everybody thought it was impossible to reach that distance. But then, obviously, proxy wars, everything like that, the space race, it was achieved. Breaking atmosphere and getting somebody to step outside of Earth. That is an insane feat itself. So just because something's impossible doesn't mean not do it. That just gives it more of a reason for it to be achieved. Okay, so here's the basic steps on finding that purpose, whatever you enjoy, whatever you would like to do. There's many ways this could be found. The biggest one is literally just by constantly learning. You always go out experiencing, doing something, reading, whatever. And whatever you enjoy doing, whatever you feel fulfilled in doing as well, then just 10x that feeling and make that a goal. And then if you feel fulfilled in doing little steps every day, then that's a purpose. Now, finding a purpose takes time. Sometimes, there's very few out there that can just, in like 15 minutes, be like, oh, I'd like to do this. But mostly it takes time. It takes weeks, months, maybe even years to figure out. So give it patience. Patience is very key in anything. Because if you give it enough time, at the same time also working towards it, if you give it enough time, you will eventually get an answer. But patience is key for most things, if not everything. So the first step to figure out a purpose is looking at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a little triangle with 5 layers to them, and basically it's the model of understanding motivations of humans' behaviors. It was created by Abraham Maslow, and he was a psychologist in the 1940s that was trying to figure out human behavior, human motivation, what triggers it. What gives people that sense of accomplishment, that sense of motivation to do something every single day, every single morning. So I'll put up the little triangle. You figure out what you need. So cross off what you have and figure out what you need, because eventually that chart should be full. You should have needed and accomplished everything on that chart. But figure out where you sit. Mostly people will probably need self-esteem, some maybe intimacy or whatever. So that's like the 3rd bar. But I'll put up the chart, and I'll give you a minute to look upon it and actually think. Actually ask the question, what do I need? Don't just mouth the words. You'll know the difference pretty quickly, because you get an answer. And sometimes it may not be an answer you enjoy, but in this case, it's always good. It's always good. But if you need more time, just pause the video, and here you go. Number 2, in helping find your purpose, is basically the question. Write this in your book. and write this question down and then answer it in as many ways as you can, and then just gaze upon that, and whatever answer keeps repeating itself, whatever you feel fulfilled in doing, what do you feel joyful in doing, whatever brings you pleasure in what you think achieving that would. Just keep thinking upon that, keep asking yourself that question, and whatever repeats itself, then that could be your purpose. So the question is, what do I see myself, or what do I want my life to look like in 10 years? 10 years is a really long time in the grand scheme of a human lifetime. A whole decade. A lot can happen in 10 years. If you're actually productive, a lot can happen in just one day. So imagine 3,000 of them. That sounds like a lot of time, because it is. And if you just do a little bit of work and strive better and better every single day, whatever you wrote down will come really easily. Now, it could be being very wealthy. It could be having the perfect Greek god body. Being as healthy as possible. Being as smart as possible. Whatever you wrote down, whatever it is, if you just do the little steps to that every single day, over the course of those 3,600 something days, your goal will be achieved. But if you spend your time just sitting down, holding the task off to the next, and to the next, and to the next, those days will just go by like it's nothing. Procrastination is a big killer of motivation. Because if you're getting into the mood of doing something, such as, I should do laundry, or maybe cook something, maybe go read that book, or go to the gym, just do it right there. If the thought comes into your head, do it right there. Because if you wait 5-10 seconds, then the thought process will be gone. If you don't take action within 5 to 10 seconds of that thought, then you're just going to sit there. Be like, I'll just do it tomorrow. Which then tomorrow comes by and you have the same thought process. Procrastination is a big killer. So if the thought comes in your head, just do it. Obviously, these thoughts must be to your goal. Maybe just general life improvement, self-improvement. For an example, if the thought of doing 10 push-ups right now comes in your mind, get down to do 10. Don't be like, I'll just do them later. Because then you won't do them later. Or if, maybe I should read maybe 2 pages of this book. Go get the book, sit down, read them, and then go back to what you were doing. Or if you got some work to get done at school or at your job, be like, alright, I gotta get this done. Do a little bit then, or maybe even finish the project right there. Because if you do the work first, then you can do whatever later. If you be as productive in one moment, you do as much work in one moment as possible, then whatever time is left over, you can spend whatever doing, because you won't have anything holding you back. So procrastination is a big killer of motivation. So look at what you wrote down for how you want to see your life in 10 years. And then next, step 3, is break it down. So break it down by each individual year, and then break it down by each individual month, then each individual day. So for an example, let's say you want to get your dream body. You want to get really fit. be able to run for hours at a time or lift hundreds of pounds, and be like, every single year, I want to get to this amount ran or this amount lifted, and every single month be like, okay, I want to try and get to this amount, and then break it up by every single day and how you could do that. So every single day of getting to that strength is, this day I'll do chest and bicep, or back and bicep. This day I'll do chest and tricep, then legs, maybe abdomen, and break them up by the days. Then in those days, figure out your diets, figure out your times when to go to the gym, etc. And just by doing those little steps a day, and with a progressive overload, so that's increasing the weights little by little every time you go back. Next thing you know, in 10 years, you could be benching 300 pounds. You'd be deadlifting 800. You could be able to run a marathon without stopping. An ultra marathon. The same thing can go with, if you want to be extremely smart or extremely wise, then every single year, give yourself a goal like, okay, I want to read this many books. Then in those months, be like, okay, maybe I can read this book this month, this book this month. And every single day be like, okay, let's read 10, maybe 20 pages. Or if you're feeling like, ooh, I got nothing but time, let's read the entire day. And then strive for like 50 or even 100 pages. So just by but be careful of that. Don't start off, if you don't really read, don't start off with that many pages, because it's just like working out. If you completely immerse yourself in such rigorous work, then you'll feel not to do it tomorrow. So take little steps. So read like 10 pages a day. Then over time you can increase those pages, because you'll be reading faster, you'll be able to read longer. And the next thing you know, you could have read 100, maybe 200 books, maybe 1,000 books in 10 years. Imagine how much knowledge you can have just by having those little steps of reading 10 pages a day. Then maybe even 20 pages a day. And you're just increasing that number. And same thing with the business. Create the idea of a business. And be like, how do I break this down? I want to make this much this year. And how that business will portray. Break it down, be like, the whole business thing, I highly recommend just reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. It will explain it much simpler. The explanation of business would be a whole video in itself. But you get the idea. Breaking it down by years, breaking it down by months, then by days. What little task you can do every single day. Now, because this purpose, changing your life, bringing yourself closer to that goal, you will relapse, but even that progress you did to relapse is still progress. So you will fall, but don't stay where you've fallen. Get yourself back up and do it again. Try to strive to last longer. Maybe to do a more productive day. Every time you fail, you will fail guaranteed in your life. You will fail more than once. You'll fail a dozen, maybe many dozen times. But as long as you keep picking yourself back up and continuing on going, pushing yourself through that, there you go. Now fulfillment and sense of accomplishment has been achieved. Now after doing those first 3 steps, looking at the triangle of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, then asking yourself how you want your life to look in 10 years. Then breaking down that life into little steps that you can do every single day to bring yourself closer to that. Another way to bring yourself closer to that is, what is some work you can do to help my group, my tribe, my area? As Hamza has said this before, is what can you do to help my tribe? Because if you can help your group of friends, your group of people, then you'll be helping yourself. Although you will also lose friends. You lose people. It's perfectly okay. If you keep clinging yourself to people, to the people that don't benefit you, the people that won't grow with you, people and that don't cheer you on or you cheer them on, then they're just gonna hold you back. So then you will procrastinate more. For an example, if your group of friends enjoys going out to parties, smoking crap tons of weed, playing video games for hours, tens of hours a day, then if your purpose is, I want to get to the gym, have fun. But you got to be willing to lose some people in order to achieve what you want. Because who knows, on your journey, you can make a new group, a new tribe of people with a similar mindset. People with incredible amounts of potential. Just like you. Everybody has potential. It just depends on how much work you want to put in. So over your journey, you are going to lose people. But that's the process. As harsh as it is, it's an acceptance that must be there. But in the end, if it was necessary, you feel better. Because if you do want to go to the gym, but then your friends will be like, no, one more game, or we got a party this week and you want to come? Then whatever you had, then the days that party lands on, and you had like maybe leg day or something, then you're going to skip that. And then after the party, you're going to be recovering and then skip more days at the gym. You'll be like, I'll just go to the gym tomorrow. Then you have to have the same mindset every single day. It's like, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then bam, your whole gym schedule's gone. Or yeah, playing that one extra game. Then if you're going to the gym like 3 in the afternoon or something like that, 5 in the afternoon, or in the morning even, and then your friends are like, okay, just one more game, and then a few hours passed, and that time you're supposed to go to the gym, or you wanted to go to the gym, is now past, and you're like, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes around, you're still playing that damn video game, and then you skip the gym again. So it's important to be strict with your purpose. That's why you break it up into individual days. So that brings us to the last step. What is another sacrifice I can make to achieve my goal better? So whatever it is, think about what's holding you back from achieving that goal now, and then exclude that from your life. Let's go to the gym example again. So, every gym, working out, creating an aesthetic body, creating a strong body, requires diet. So if you're just sitting there all day and eating junk food, so many processed foods, so many processed sugars, then maybe a sacrifice you can make is less sugars. Maybe instead of going out to the store and buying $50 worth of candy, instead go to the store and buy $50 worth of fruit. Or vegetables or meat. Instead of sitting down playing video games all day, what if instead you do a little bit of workout at home? I'll be creating a video soon on an at-home workout you can do with little to no equipment. Another big killer of any type of goal you want to do is porn and masturbation. It is such a big killer. Because then you waste your time looking at this exactly like video games. And then just watching that and masturbating takes a toll on itself as well. So in any type of goal you have, that should be like a number one you should exclude. I'll get in more detail of that in the future. But yeah, if your goal is to get fit, then maybe some sacrifices you can make is less video games, to maybe even no video games. Less to no sugar. So instead of spending, that $50 on candy, spend it on $50 of fruit or whatever. And then less Netflix, less YouTube, less Hulu, or whatever streaming platforms people use nowadays. I read. Yes, I got some VHS tapes here, but I watch movies maybe once a week, if that. I got books here. I got more in my living room. But yeah, just write that question down again in your notebook. What is another sacrifice I can make to achieve my goal better? And just write down a list of 1, 2, 3, maybe even 7, if it gets that big, of things you can exclude from your life to bring you closer to that purpose. Now, if your purpose is freedom, or your purpose is money, whatever, there's 3 types of freedom. There's financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. Eventually, at the end of any person's goal, at any person's purpose, should it be those 3. Because if you can have an online business or a business in some way to bring in passive income, then you make that as productive as possible. You get a bunch of employees, whatever. Then that saves you time. And then with all this income, where you can have this money achieved wherever the world you are, then you just unlocked location freedom. So even though you are making money, if you're doing nothing through your day, you could still work if you want. Depends on what you wish to do through your day. But in any person's goal, those are big 3 that should be achieved. Because you can make a bunch of money to make sure you're self-sustaining for yourself, for your family. And then be able to spend that time with your family. And then be able to live wherever. That seems like a dream. So those are 3 big ideas that everybody should achieve. So as a recap to finish off the video. Number 1, look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Figure out where you're sitting. Figure out what you need. Then number 2, what do you want your life to look like in 10 years? And number 3, break that down into yearly, monthly, daily steps. Then 4, list off the sacrifices you can make to achieve your goal better. And then reflect off of that. Write that out on notes. Right here, I got all my goals. I got my yearly goals, got my end goals, steps to achieve that. Write it down. Make sure it's in your face. Make sure it's always showing up. Because then when you look at it, be like, okay, this is what I gotta do today. Maybe even a notebook. Write down month of September, month of June, month of April. And then write down, like, today I'll go to and just write down gym, and then have a bunch of boxes written down of every single day. And And then let's say read 10 pages in a bunch of boxes, and as the days go by, just check off what you did throughout the day. It's a good list. It's a good starting list until you... It's even just a good list in general. So do those 4 steps. Reflect. And that's the beginning steps to creating a purpose. Just remember, every day is a great day. It just depends on how you spend it. Love you.